Well, it's quiet time again. I've got the other 300 TDI built up to go into my Spanish 110, but I have to do an order for some bits and pieces, like a clutch for example, and that's kind of heavy. So I'm thinking at the same time, to maximise the shipping weight, is to see what I need for this engine here, the one that we took out. So I thought to myself, let's take it to bits first, and then we'll put all the bits into storage, because they're kind of easy. But I might need some other bits and pieces from UK to build this engine up as a complete one. That would be good, wouldn't it? So what we're going to do today is do the things that we can't buy locally, i.e. if the crank's scored or anything like this, we can get the crank machined locally, and then bearings, depending on the crank it's being ground to, you know, the sizes, we can just ship those across in an envelope. They're kind of cheap. But does it need a head? Don't think so. It went really well, but we never know. What about the camshaft? What about all the other bits and pieces? So let's get into this and pull it apart and just check what we really need, because if we need a head I can ship it at the same time and it won't make much of a difference. Well, it will make a bit, but it won't make as much as shipping an individual head. I'm kind of curious what's in it. I've got a bit of space left on the bench. Let's do it. Just got the rocker box off. This fills me full of confidence. Look how beautiful and clean that is inside. That is lovely. Now I know I had the head off this to replace the rocker, but I didn't rebuild this head, and this is a genuine Land Rover head. That's really encouraging. So let me get the rocker shaft off, keep all the push rods all in order and things like this, then we can sort of undo all the bolts and things that hold the head on, and we'll have a look at the pistons, and we'll do a little test with diesel to see if these are leaking down, because if the bores are good, then we might not need pistons, because like I said, this is incredibly clean. That's very encouraging, isn't it? I was just about to take the rocker shaft off and I noticed that this one has been replaced at some time. Isn't that interesting? Yet it's got a part number written on the side of here. Take it. Yeah, so that's been replaced. I wonder why. Interesting. The rockers look really good. I'm going to put that in a clean bag. Ooh. Now, like I say, I took the head off this about, I don't know, 3-4 years ago when we had a problem with a rocker. And, of course, I've done many 300 TDIs. I can't remember which is which now. Like I say, we're keeping the push rods all in order. I'll get these done and then we'll come around and take the head off. When I drove this engine home, flat out, it went beautifully. But it was only a problem of it high miles and it knocking a little bit, and of course there was something wrong with the roller that lives down there. There's the reason I took it out. Now, yeah, I don't know. I wonder if somebody's rebuilt this before it came to Canada. But anyway, what we're going to do is take the head off now, and we're going to work in a pattern that's opposite from tightening down. So when you tighten it down, you start in the middle and you work in a pattern going outwards. We are going to start on the outsides and work inwards, if you see what I mean. And this will help prevent the head warping and stretching. So let me get on with that and then we'll take the head off. That'll be exciting, won't it? Right, last couple of bolts. How many have we got left? 4 left. Can't do without those windy tools. I think those bolts are almost like new. In fact, I'm going to put them back in. I'm not going to buy new bolts. They've done virtually nothing. I think when I put them in, I put new bolts in. Well, like I say, I've done that many I can't remember which is which. You know, did I do this, did I do that? I'm not one for keeping records, apart from old records. Right, need to get into that. There we go. Here goes. Ooh. Ooh. Ah. Right. Can you see this here? That's a multi-shim gasket that I put on. Everything's been burning beautifully, not beautifully, but you can see it's been subject to corrosion. Not too bad. All's even. There's no, you know, this one's a little bit lighter, but doesn't mean all that much. But it's a little bit corroded in there. I'm just concerned of what the rest of it's like. But to me, that head is good. We'll pressure test it in another day. But you can see the corrosion here, look. But it's not much. It'll sandblast out with all that lot. Now, I'm going to turn the crank over. Crank pulley. I'll go and get a crank pulley. This engine turns over lovely. Like there's no resistance in it at all. Well, I'm saying lovely, but it's so smooth. What can I observe? There's no ring marks on there. No, it doesn't seem to be one there. Look, I can even turn it over in the hand, look. Well, I say I can. Let's get my light out and we'll check the bore on it. One thing that never ceases to amaze me with TDIs, if they're in good order. I mean, this has got 300,000 kilometres on. Look at that. That's still got the honing marks on the cylinders. It's lovely. Look at that. Now, just as an observation as well, we'll move across here. I don't know if you can pick this up, but this is ERR2412. These are the original pistons. These haven't been oversized or rebored or anything. So, could we have this honed? Look at that, look how tight they are. You know, wait a minute. These are lovely and tight, look. God, it's true. Where's my spanner? They're nice. So maybe it was a good call to take it out. Maybe we can overhaul this at very limited cost. I didn't think there was much wrong with it. Just a clean up, wash and brush up, shower. You never know. New gaskets. I bet you the crank's like new. I bet you it is. So at least there wasn't any damage. But the head, well, we'll test that out in another video. I think it's all right. I've just observed something that might need a looking at. I wonder why this rear frost plug here has got silicone around it, blue silicone. Everything on this car has had blue silicone. That's why I'm taking the transfer case and the gearbox out. Yeah, like I say, you can see that corrosion in there, but it's not the end of the world, you know. That's because it's not been run on coolant without additives on. But those valves are lovely. Oh, nice, sexy. So what are we going to do with it? Are we going to do any more? No. Am I going to get ahead? No, I don't think so. Maybe, I don't know. But for now I'm fairly satisfied that it's not a bad motor. You can see that blue silicone round there, look. So I don't think it's a bad motor. I don't think we need many bits for it. Just maybe a set of rings. But you see, the reason is why I took it to bits now is if it was all scored and knackered, if it needed a rebore, then I can take it down the machine shop and it'll be about another 12 weeks before he gets his arse into gear to get it done. So maybe not a bad call to get it stripped. So what we'll do is we'll plonk the head back on so nothing gets back into it, you know, just with a couple of bolts, and then just put it to one side, and then we'll get on doing this transfer case and gearbox.